This portion of the John Fredericks Show is brought to you by Hargrave Military Institute. Learn more at hargrave.edu. Hargrave Military Institute. Build his future.
Guess who's joining us now on the line is the editor of a great new website called vapolitics.us. That's J.R. Hoeft, and he was the former founder. Well, you can't be a former founder. The founder and former editor of bearingdrift.com. I got to get all this straight, JR. Great to have you with us, though. Here's what I do know. vapolitics.us. That's where you got to go every day. Get everything right there. If you're interested in Virginia politics, brand new site, vapolitics.us. JR, great to have you.
Great to be on the program, John. Thank you very much. Yep, vapolitics.us. We're going to try to get everything that you need right there, sort of a central clearinghouse for political information here in the Commonwealth.
So you're going to be kind of the Matt Drudge of Virginia, right?
Oh, well, maybe. I'm not going to go there until we get there, because those are awfully big shoes to fill. But, yeah, we want to be able to aggregate a little information. We want to be able to break some news. We want to be able to bring you some audio podcasts and newsmaker interviews. You and I have talked a little bit about that, maybe going forward. And, just be a place where conservatives can go to get common sense reason here in the Commonwealth.
And some solid information. I think that's a great idea. Go to vapolitics.us, and I've now tagged that, and that's part of my daily mix of vapolitics.us. JR, yesterday on our show, we had Sean Kenny. He is with bearingdrift.com, the political editor. He's now one of, I guess you might say, the first noted conservatives blogger in the state of Virginia to call on Governor McDonnell to resign. He basically said it's over. It's a distraction. There's critical mass. He simply needs to vacate the living quarters of the governor's mansion and have a good day. Let's all move on. What do you make of that?
Well, I'm not surprised. Sean has a big heart and a lot of credibility and a lot of sort of emotional investment into Virginia conservatism. And he has a great amount of respect for the executive mansion and a great amount of respect for how we do business in the Commonwealth. It's a great history. It goes back 400 years. And we want to keep our history. Sometimes we've gotten into a few ruts. There's no doubt about that. But he wants to make sure that what we do is the so-called Virginia way. And I respect Sean for his opinion on this matter. There's no doubt about that his heart is in the right place. But we have to go back to the facts. Governor McDonnell has not been charged with anything. There is nothing that Governor McDonnell, in the eyes of Virginia law, or the so-called Virginia way, and there's nothing that he's done wrong. And so what we have to do here is we have to actually see, what are the actual facts of the case. We know that he's got a $70,000 loan that he has to pay back. We know that, his wife took some gifts that maybe she shouldn't have taken, that his daughter had, got some favors that maybe she shouldn't have gotten. And let's hope Governor McDonnell maybe does the right thing now that we know about it.
Look, I agree with you, and I've been saying that all week. There's absolutely no evidence right now that we have that suggests that Governor McDonnell should resign his governorship in Virginia, because he's not broken any law that I can find. Now, you might quarrel with the law, and I think the laws in Virginia surrounding gift giving are ridiculous. That's one of the issues. I mean, the fact that family members aren't covered, the fact that there's a lot of gray area is a real problem. There's been several proposals out there, one by a delegate from Stafford County, Bob Marshall, one from State Senator Ralph Northam, who's been a champion of this for some time.
Right.
So they're floating out there. But here's the bottom line. if you look at everything that's happened, no law right now has been broken by the governor. Now, you might raise an eyebrow like you just did and said, you really shouldn't be taking the food out and taking it to college. You shouldn't have taken the frying pans. You shouldn't have gone on a shopping spree trip. You shouldn't have taken a $22,000 private jet flight to the Final Four in Texas. I mean, the beat goes on.
Right.
But
now, John, I mean, at this point, we want to see what Governor McDonnell does.
Right.
He's on vacation. He's in Virginia Beach. I'm sure that he and his family are kind of collecting their thoughts and getting themselves, together regarding, okay, how are we going to respond to this particular situation? Let's give, as conservatives, let's give this guy who, whether you like it or not, has grown revenues for 4 continuous straight years in an economy for the state, has grown revenues for the state without raising taxes up until, this transportation issue, who has basically done a phenomenal job as the governor and governing in a conservative manner. As conservatives, we need to give him the benefit of the doubt. We owe it to this individual who has served nobly for 20-plus years. Let's give him the benefit of the doubt and allow. We know he's done something unethical. Okay, now we want to see whether he does the right thing, and let's see what that is.
Well, JR, I agree with that wholeheartedly. I think we have to wait. Everybody's jumping to conclusions here. And again, a lot of the money that was taken is certainly indefensible, but there's no quid pro quo that I can find in any of the investigation I've done. He's not done anything for Johnny Williams' company that he wouldn't do for some other company. Now, you can say that, he got a loan and he wouldn't have gotten that if he was not the governor. Maureen got a loan. She wouldn't have gotten that if he was not the governor, etc. But no laws have been broken. And so the fact that he's not done that, I think the real issue now, and you, I think nailed it, JR, is that people want a statement from the governor on this. And I think they're trying to find out if there's anything else they need to say, and they're going to take their time on it. And they have that right as governor of Virginia. But he's been a fabulous governor. And in a lot of ways, from people that I've talked to, this is a tragedy. Because Governor McDonnell is well liked. He's served the state admirably, and he's been a great governor. So, the kind of the line that I get from people that are sympathetic to the governor, like me, is that this whole thing is just it's like a tragic play, right? Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and you're absolutely right on that as well. Here we are. We've been watching, Shakespeare, for the past 4 years, and here we are at the end, and suddenly they've got the long knives out, and it never does a tragic play and good, and that is somewhat what we're seeing. I think a lot of it has to do with and of course it does, all the politics that's involved. Governor McDonnell has done a really good job of isolating himself, despite maybe ThesisGate, with his college thesis during the 2009 campaign. Except for that particular issue, there's really been no scandal surrounding his entire career. And he's isolated himself quite well with that. And here we are at the end of his career, as he's perhaps looking to make the next step. And suddenly, with Terry McAuliffe wanting to run for office and, all the baggage that he carries with him, suddenly something like this becomes transparent. I think that's awfully convenient.
Well, and I'll tell you the other thing, JR, it's very tough in politics for families that are strapped financially. I mean, the governor is not well off. Everyone knows that. He's basically lived a middle-class life. He's got a litany of kids in college. And, one of the issues, I'm sure, with these loans isn't that they wanted to take the money and go on some vacation someplace. As I understand it, they were just broke. And so, they got loans. And, I think his idea was, look, after I'm out of office, I'll end up with a big job someplace I'll be able to pay it back. But right now, I think a lot of this, certainly the loans were driven by the fact that he's not a man of financial means. Now, we always get into this in politics, and when we have somebody running for office like Terry McAuliffe, who's worth $80 billion, that presents problems on its own. But, he's a middle-class guy, not well off, and I think a lot of that was driving what happened with these loans from Johnny Williams. Jared, let's get to the gubernatorial race. The disclosures just came out. Terry McAuliffe, a huge advantage in cash on hand. Now, from the Cuccinelli campaign, we get all these emails about, well, his money's from out of state. Well, he's got these big donors. Cuccinelli might be down by $4 million cash on hand, but he's got a better plethora of small grassroots donors, et cetera. All, but here's the deal. When the negative ads start to hit like they just have from McAuliffe, nobody is looking at the TV saying, well, that is only on there because he got donations from people in Maine or Iowa or San Diego. They're seeing the ads. That's the problem, right?
Hey, Terry McAuliffe collected $1.9 million during June compared to $1.1 million for Ken Cuccinelli. Okay, now that's a decent showing for Ken Cuccinelli, but when you see that McAuliffe has $6 million compared to $2.6 million that Cuccinelli has, that means he can do a whole wide variety of things. He's going to be in the Northern Virginia market. He's going to be in the Hampton Roads market. He's going to be in Richmond. He's going to be in Charlottesville. He's going to be able to buy radio airtime. He's going to be able to get online ads. He's going to be able to bring in folks to do campaigning for him. And he's going to be able to support folks here as they're doing campaigns. He's going to be able to support the General Assembly races. Look, McAuliffe is going to be able to get the entire liberal establishment on board to support his campaign, and all the liberal groups from out of state and in state are going to be supporting his campaign. All that union money, all that money from Planned Parenthood. You cannot look at those numbers as Ken Cuccinelli and think that they're good. Anybody who thinks those numbers are good and that everything's going to be okay is an idiot.
You're right. It's self-delusional. And, what the Cuccinelli campaign is trying to do now is send out, press releases and emails and things like that to their backers saying, well, look, factcheck.org said the ads are not accurate and this and that. The end of the day, that's inside baseball stuff.
Yeah,
the average person doesn't care. They've got the TV on, they've got the radio on, they open their mailbox, they're going to get these ads very negative on Cuccinelli from the McAuliffe campaign. They're flush with cash.
Correct.
And it's going to make a difference because Cuccinelli can't respond. All you have to do, JR, is go back to August of 2012 when the Barack Obama campaign deluged Romney with negative ads all over the United States and all the key battleground states. Romney decided not to respond because their money was tied up until after he was the official nominee, so he didn't put any of his own in. And they thought they could weather the storm with the same type of thing I'm seeing now, and it blew up in their face, right?
That's right, John. Cuccinelli is behind the 8 ball, and this McDonnell situation is not helping. Now, he's got a lot of money. There's no doubt about that. But he doesn't have McAuliffe's money, and we knew that was going to happen. We just didn't know it was going to happen. So dramatically.
What do you look for, JR, in Saturday night's debate?
I'm looking in Saturday night's debate for Cuccinelli to show the separation that he can as a conservative lawmaker. I want him to show who he is so that he can transcend all this stuff. He's certainly going to bring up McAuliffe's own foibles, and he's going to show why he is the right person for this job in Virginia, why he's a true Virginian and can govern as a Virginian.
JR, how do you think Ken Cuccinelli should handle the Bob McDonnell situation?
I think he obviously needs to acknowledge it, but at the same time, he needs to move forward with his ideas, his policies, how he wants to, govern here in the Commonwealth, how he wants to continue the good policies of Bob McDonnell: continued state revenue growth, not raising taxes, and growing jobs.
I think that's it. I think, he started to move away from McDonnell this week. Obviously, he can't be tied to that, so I think they're playing that right. But certainly the disadvantage in cash on hand is going to be a tough thing for the Attorney General to overcome. JR, as always, we appreciate your keen insight. You can read JR and get all the happenings on Virginia politics. Just go to vapolitics.us. That's vapolitics.us. JR Hoeft from
Thanks, John. Really
VA
appreciate
Politics. And JR, we'll have you back. Thank you so much.
Thank you.